The public has been watching a version of the story. It is the version presented in press briefings, televised statements, and carefully measured public appearances. In that version, a respected journalist stands before cameras during the most painful moment of her life and somehow maintains composure. Viewers admire the strength they see and respond with sympathy and prayers for a safe return. But beneath that visible layer lies a far more complicated and deeply emotional reality. What the public witnesses is only the surface. The real story unfolding behind the scenes is heavier, more personal, and more heartbreaking than most people realize. The woman the world knows. For decades, Savannah Guthrie built one of the most recognizable careers in American broadcast journalism. She became a trusted voice in millions of homes, guiding viewers through daily news with calm authority and empathy. Reaching the age of 54 was supposed to mark a time of stability and accomplishment. After years of dedication, relentless work, and professional challenges, she had secured her place at the top of her field. She balanced her demanding career with raising young children and maintaining a presence that felt both authoritative and deeply human. In every measurable way, she had arrived. The day everything changed. Then, on February 1st, 2026, everything shifted. That morning, authorities in Tucson, Arizona confirmed a disturbing discovery. The home of Nancy Guthrie had been found empty. Investigators believed the 84-year-old woman had been taken against her will. With that announcement, the word kidnapping entered the national conversation. Suddenly, the crisis was not just a private family tragedy, it became a public event unfolding in real time. From that moment forward, Savannah's life split into two parallel realities: the public role of composed journalist addressing a national audience and the private role of a daughter facing unimaginable fear. The medical clock. One of the most frightening aspects of the situation is the medical reality surrounding Nancy Guthrie. At 84 years old, she relies on heart medication that must be taken regularly. This is not optional treatment or a minor health consideration. It is a critical requirement for her survival. Every hour without that medication introduces risk, placing increasing strain on an aging heart. For investigators, the timeline becomes urgent. For Savannah, the knowledge is agonizing. As she addresses the public with measured calm, she is painfully aware that somewhere, her mother may be facing a life-threatening medical clock ticking quietly but relentlessly in the background. Strength under a national spotlight. Despite the emotional devastation, Savannah has appeared before cameras with remarkable composure. Millions have praised the strength she demonstrates in each public statement. Viewers see a woman who seems steady, thoughtful, and resilient even while living through a nightmare. Yet this composure is not accidental. It reflects decades of professional discipline and emotional training. As a journalist, she has spent her career managing pressure while delivering information clearly and responsibly. But what the public sees as strength is also the result of something deeper, a lifetime of learning how to hold herself together even when the weight becomes almost unbearable. Lessons learned in childhood. Savannah's ability to maintain composure during crisis did not begin in a newsroom. It began in childhood. After the death of her father, her mother raised her with a philosophy rooted in resilience and independence. The message was clear: the world is difficult and strength is essential. Vulnerability, while human, was not something to display openly. Instead, problems were to be confronted directly, emotions managed privately, and responsibilities handled with determination. Over time, this philosophy became more than advice. It became part of Savannah's identity, shaping how she approached challenges, how she processed fear, and how she navigated moments of intense pressure. The performance of composure. That upbringing prepared Savannah for success in a demanding career, but it also shaped how she responds to personal crisis. When tragedy strikes, she does not collapse publicly. She performs the role she has practiced her entire life, the capable, composed professional who keeps moving forward. To many observers, that response looks like extraordinary strength. In reality, it may also represent something more complicated. When a person has been trained to push aside vulnerability in order to function, composure can become automatic. It is not always a conscious choice. Sometimes it is simply the only response a person knows how to give. The quiet emotional weight. Behind the public strength lies a quieter emotional struggle. When someone learns early in life that resilience is expected, they often carry an internal question for years. Whether they are valued simply for who they are or primarily for how well they perform under pressure. Professional achievements, public recognition, and admiration from millions cannot always answer that question completely. The need for reassurance from the people closest to us, especially our parents, remains powerful. In moments of crisis, that need can become even more intense, resurfacing beneath the composure that others see from the outside. A lifetime of seeking approval for Savannah, the relationship with her mother has always been filled with love, dedication, and shared resilience. Nancy's guidance helped shape the strong woman the world sees today. Yet when love is expressed mainly through encouragement to be strong, capable, and successful, it can sometimes leave an unspoken longing for simpler reassurance. Even the most accomplished individuals can wonder whether they are loved unconditionally or primarily admired for their strength. That question does not disappear with age or achievement. Instead, it quietly follows a person throughout life, surfacing most powerfully during moments of uncertainty and fear. Words that matter most. During a recent gathering of friends and colleagues, veteran journalist Tom Brokaw reportedly shared a reflection that captured the emotional heart of this story. He expressed hope that if Nancy returns home safely, someone might help her understand something important. The strength Savannah displays is not the result of invincibility. It is the result of a lifetime spent believing that strength is necessary. And perhaps the most meaningful gift Nancy could offer her daughter now would not be advice or encouragement to stay strong, but something simpler and more powerful: clear, unconditional words of love. More than a public crisis. This situation is not just a national news story about an investigation, it is also a deeply personal moment unfolding in the life of a daughter who fears losing the person who shaped her entire world. The public sees statements, press conferences, and updates from investigators. Behind those moments is a family waiting, hoping, and enduring uncertainty. The emotional layers of the story extend far beyond the visible events. They include decades of memories, shared experiences, and unspoken feelings that now carry new meaning as the search continues. Hoping for a homecoming. As the investigation continues, the hope shared by millions is simple: that Nancy Guthrie will be found safe and return home. If that moment comes, it will mean more than the resolution of a crime. It will be the reunion of a mother and daughter whose bond has shaped an entire lifetime. And perhaps in that quiet moment, away from cameras and headlines, the words that matter most can finally be spoken. Not words of strength or instruction, but words of unconditional love, the kind that remind someone they never had to prove their worth at all.